My name's Lorraine, and you're at my channel, ShanebrookCottage. My channel is all about quilting and sewing, cross stitch, and all the fun things. Welcome. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my channel. I hope you find something that you like and become a subscriber. And to the returning viewers, yay, welcome back. I'm so excited to share with you all the things I've been working on this last week. And let's just jump right in. I want to, you may have noticed something a little different. I got a little microphone. Look at me being all fancy. I feel like typically the iPad does a great job picking up the audio. I do have the tendency when I'm holding up stuff to like talk behind it, and so sometimes the audio gets a little low. So I'm going to give the mic a try. If you notice a difference, either positive or negative, please let me know in the comments and I will make any corrections, because I just want to do a good job and I want to make it enjoyable for you. So I'm just using a little something I found on Amazon. So we'll see how it works. So tonight, well, tonight is it's Tuesday night. It is June, what is it? Not June, July 9th. You're going to watch this hopefully Friday morning, July 12th. It'll go live at 7 a.m. That seems to be a good routine for me this summer, and we're going to try and stick to it. So tonight I have a mix of things. I have cross stitch, I have sewing for the fair, I have quilting, haul, and a couple whips, a couple finishes. It's a little hodgepodge, a little potpourri. Is that how you say it? Potpourri? A little mixture of goodies. So let's just start with the cross stitch finishes. So I got this completely done. Oops, I still have a needle in it. Let me pull my needle and put it somewhere safe. Okay, it's not somewhere safe. It's just right here though. So this is all done. Oh, maybe I left the needle in because I wanted to add my initials and date. I'm not sure. But if you're new here, I typically stitch on 14 count Aida. I love Aida. That's what I learned on when I was a teenager, and I find it very easy and relaxing. And I love that I can find it easily, and I can dye it myself. So this was when I dyed myself. The pattern, so this will be the last time I show it. Well, until it's fully finished, and I'll probably show it one more time. But here it is, That Mom by Dirty Annie's. Great pattern, bright color. It called for weeks. I just pulled my own. Just a mix of things I pulled. So if you're curious about my colors, I'll be happy to share that with you. Otherwise, you know, I'll move on. So there's that one. I'm really happy to have that done. Then my next finish. So cute. So cute. So this is out of Susan Aki's Summer Memories book from last year. And this is just what I printed. I copied the book so I could show you the cross stitch. And I didn't have the colors because they were all in Orifloss, so I just pulled my own, made some changes, whatever. I took off Proud and True and just put 1776 in it instead. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a little pillow or if I'm just going to make a little stand-up. Or flat fold, I guess it would be called. And these are the colors that I pulled. I went with 2 browns on the flower pot. It called for that brown color in the pink color. So I had a couple of pinks in there and a couple of reds, and I slimmed the choices down to 1 red and 1 pink. So I like that better for what I had on hand. So anyway, that was a great finish. That's a great book. You'll see another project that I'm working on from that book. So I'll show that to you next time when it's fully finished. Let's stick with cross stitch. Let me show you the 2 whips that I mostly worked on this week. I might have put a couple stitches in some other things, but these are the ones I really worked on. So my Plum Street hen pecked. And again, I kind of just did my own little thing. I wrote down what the originals called for was, and then crossed them out and put what I used. And here's my version. I love this. I think my white is super, super great on this fabric. Oh, and I wanted to tell you something about this. Let me turn my back and grab something. So this fabric was Prairie Green by Witchell, 14 count. And it does, even here, you can see it has a lot of green in it, but it had a lot of green, too much green for what I wanted to use it for. So I used some of this, and you can get this on Etsy from Curly Girl Creates. She has a Flosstube channel with her daughter, Unfinished Stitches. The name's escaping me. I will look it up and put it in the show notes, because and if I have some extra pictures, I'll put those in as the fabric progressed. I think this is just walnut, homemade walnut stain. And I just sprayed the fabric, let it dry, kept spraying it, let it dry till I got to the color that I liked. And I think it turned out really great. And this was super easy to use. Highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up, 5 stars. Okay, so that's henpecked. I'm going to leave that one out and stitch on it again this week. This whip here, I think I'm done for the year, and I'll put it away and pull it out again next year. But look at, I got so much done. So last night I filled this in. Nope, wrong way, I'm backwards. I had that filled in. I came over here and I did this set of corn. And I didn't do the tassels yet. And I had come down last time and done some of the fence. And then there'll be a big American flag hanging here. Hands-on design. Love this pattern. I'm enjoying it so much. It took forever to fill in all that green, but I think I'm done for the year. I started this last year. I will put it away and pull it up next year to stitch on. I really do enjoy stitching seasonally on my goodies. But I'm ready for something new. A new start. I feel like I want a new start, 1 or 2. So I think that's what's on the agenda for this week. So that is it for my cross stitch whips. The other ones I really didn't touch a lot, so probably no reason to show them. So I hope you've been getting some stitching in. Now, onward to sewing. Yay! So I finished this, and just a little pillowcase for the fair. I did do my fair entry over the weekend. I emailed it in. So they'll mail me my little tickets to attach to all my things. So one step closer, one step closer. So pillowcase was in as one of the categories. I made a huge mistake. My intention was to use this fabric as the body of the pillowcase. And I had a pattern that I printed off, but I didn't read that it was for a mini pillow, like a travel pillow, not a full-size pillow. Didn't even dawn on me. I cut the fabric and I'm like, this is really odd. This is not. So then I looked at it closely, said travel pillow, took a breath, I regrouped, I went online. There's 2 videos that I like for pillowcases if you want to learn how to make them. The Crafty Gemini was the first one that I watched a long time ago. And she does what she calls the burrito method, which encloses all your seams on the inside, a French seam. That's nice. And, you know, since pillowcases are one of those items that will go through the wash a lot, you know, at least, I don't know, but I change our pillowcases once a week. That way it doesn't fray. So she has a really great method. And then I also watched Kimberly Jolly from the Fat Quarter Shop, and picked up some tips and tricks from watching her video. So anyway, I regrouped. I ended up having to use that fabric for the cuff, and I actually even had to put a seam in it, which I really didn't want to, but I had to use the fabric and not. But I love it. It's so pretty. I can't wait to use it after it goes to the fair. And then in the whole fair theme and pillow theme, I finished this. This was like a last minute make for me. This was also a free pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. I think Kimberly called it the ruffle pillow. Again, I will look up the video and I will link it in my show notes so you can find it. Super easy. I went wrong in a couple places, but I was on me. The video, like if I would have followed it to a T, it would have been just right. But I tweaked the sizing a little bit. So this, if you're a longtime viewer, you've seen this fabric. I've had this quote unquote jelly roll from Walmart. I bought a ton of it, and then I bought some coordinating yardage, I think, at either Joann's or Walmart. And last year I made table toppers, maybe placemat. I don't even remember, because it's all stored away. So anyway, so this will be one more thing that will go with it, with that coordinating. And it's just using the jelly rolls. And I did not follow the directions the right way for the very first. How do I put that? So my very first ruffle is actually small and hidden because I didn't trim it right. I don't know if I'm making sense how I'm saying that. But all the ruffles should look the same, and this one's not. And then it caused my actual first full one to really pull up. And so I just hand tacked it down so it doesn't really ruffle. But the rest of them are right. So you can see the jelly roll is just folded in half and stitched onto a background fabric all the way through. I did an envelope back. I wish my envelope back, I'm still kind of learning. I guess I made my pillow, I knew I was making it a little smaller because I wanted it to be really full, but maybe I went a little too small. Because it's like bulging, like a person who ate too much food and they're going to pop a button. Not that I can relate. But anyway, and then I put one of my little tags on there. So I wanted to share that with you guys. The pillow from Joann's came today, the pillow form, and I just put it in tonight. So that. Let's move on to quilting. Well, I have been separating those out a little bit, but I think this week I'm going to combine them because I just have a little of each. And that way I won't forget next week what I told you about this week, hopefully. So, rolling petals, I'll insert a photo here if you're new, is in timeout. I still haven't picked it all out. I think probably tonight I will sit on the couch and finish picking it out so I can fix the quilting mistakes where I had folds. Then I started a quilt that needs to be done by this weekend for the new grandbaby, for the baby shower. So here's my little Peter Rabbit panel. Super, super easy panel quilt. I am using the walking foot on this one and just manually marking my crosshatch so I'm not getting those puckers that I had on my rolling petals quilt. And I just worked on it this weekend, so I'm not even halfway going one way, and then I'll go back for the crosshatch. And I think I'm doing a 1.5 inch crosshatch. So it'll be nice and soft and pretty. So anyway, I want to get that done for Briar for his mommy's shower this weekend. Wish me luck. If not, if it's not done, I'm sure a gift card will be just as well welcomed, and I can gift that when the baby's here in August. So I'm not sweating it too much. Speaking of sweating stuff, I've been in a little bit of a tizzy over EPP. So Carrie from Tiger Lily and Shelly from Antique Needleworkers is hosting they're calling it the Grumpy Susan Quilt Along. It's Grandma's Flower Garden. And I mentioned it last video, and some of you had some really good advice because I said I had tried it and then I abandoned it before, and so then I made a test one, which isn't really anything to write home about. But in my defense, I took the paper out and then I turned it under and I just ran it on the sewing machine because I wanted to take a picture of it. But I have learned so much. I have watched so many videos, and my stitchy friend Kelly, she sent me some links and stuff. Thank you, Kelly. And so I've learned a lot, because then I watched, Shelly had video 2 up for the quilt along, and Carrie has video 1, and on her Patreon, which the free Patreon part of her Patreon group, she has like cutting instructions and some guidelines. So go to her Patreon, Tiger Lily Designs, and get the it's like a 1-page printout. Watch her video, and then watch Shelly at Antique Needleworkers video on oh my goodness, she taught me so much from watching that video. And I saved it because it's going to be a great resource. And I learned that, like, let me show you. Okay, here's a good one. Maybe if you can see. See how you can, oh, yeah, you can see light through here, maybe. Yeah, you can see the green light on my, there you go, on my mic. Anyway, she talks about how you join and you go around the Y seam. I did not do that. I did not know I was supposed to do that. She also talked about the proper way to measure, and they're recommending a 1.5-inch paper. And this template that I already own, when I measured it, you're just measuring one side this way, it's 1.5. And I cut some, and I knew I needed a seam allowance, so I cut some comic book paper for my test run here. And I did include the seam allowance, but I didn't realize, how do I want to say this? This isn't going to work for what I want to do. I really need this to be 2 inches across. So I have it in my Amazon cart, and my paper is going to be 1.5, which they recommended. And that's going to give me the nice seam allowance. See, and I see how that's all like boogery. And part of it's because I pulled the paper out and then I machine stitched it down. But I didn't have enough. So I learned that. So, I mean, this is great for another project, but not this one. And then I just used what I had on hand, and these I would not recommend. I'm ordering the paper because then I don't have to cut them. But this comic book stuff I use to wrap the fabric around is like slippery, and so the glue didn't really hold. Anyway, don't use those. Another tip that I learned, I mean, you should just go watch your video, is what I'm saying, is not to pull the fabric around your template like, you're folding it over and you're either glue basting or sew basting, and she shows you how to do that. Not to pull it so stinking tight, because then when you either stitch the pieces together, your fabric's right there and you are hitting your paper. Also, the tip was not to put the glue all the way to the edge, because you don't want your needle going through the glue. Another tip, I mean, I'm glad that I kind of waited and kind of like learned some more. So I was going to use this packet of nice Singer sharp needles. I learned from Shelly that I really want to use a millimeter, I'm not saying that right, needle. It's very fine, so it's just going to pick up a few threads on each side, and it's going to glide smoothly through and just graze across that paper, not pierce it and go through it. And it's going to create better stitches, less fatigue. I'm going to be able to reuse my paper even though I'm using glue. the glue is just like an Elmer's type glue, like a white glue, so it's gonna release easy. Some other tips that I learned on there, but I will allow you the opportunity to go find those out for yourself. So it was just like a week of a little bit of struggling. So I made myself this little bag. Let me zip it closed because it looks nice when it's closed. I think I might only have one more left to make from this Lori Holt panel. And I crosshatch quilt. Oops, I got threads over it. The little back. And then the little blue EPPs I went around, not showing up on camera. And I thought this would be cute to carry my EPP tools in. And I was going to line it. And I don't know what I did, but the lining was wrong in so many ways. And it was a shame because it was this beautiful fabric here. And I ended up just cutting it out, and that's all that's left of it. So it's just a raw bag. It got all, I don't know if I've been watching Flosstube. I don't know if I was not paying attention and my dimensions got off. So anyway, it's still cute. I'm still going to use it. It's just not fully lined. Then this is the icing on the cake as far as tools. So let me show you. Well, let me show you this and I'll show you something else. So I got this, you know, my love for my local thrift store. So this is definitely, what did I do already? Or did I break it already? It was probably broken. That's why it was at the thrift store. A groovy 70s green sewing box. And I think right here is what's off. I just got to put it back on. And I'll fuss up. I don't need to do that with you guys. But anyway, I thought this could be my EPP bin. And I just put those little dividers in there. So I could keep all my goodies in here. Like all my paper, my cut fabric. I got a little baby mat in here. But I do have the Sue Daily circular mat in my Amazon cart. Like this Friday, I'm pulling the trigger and getting all my Amazon stuff. And then I got this book this weekend at Joann's, and this had a lot of great tips. And not only does it have about EPP, English paper piecing, it also has about foundation paper piecing, which I did a little of around Halloween, thanks to the great tutorial by Little Green Bean is the Instagram account. So anyway, got that. And then I found these in our little storage area. We had these. So here is all my goodies. I definitely am going to go and I'm going to use these. So my flowers are going to be the pinks and the reds. I'm going to use the whites. They have their whites as a solid, but I'm going to use my low volume whites. The greens I'm going to save for the joining of Grandma's garden, like the garden path. And I think the brown is also going to be part of my flowers. So I'm going to need to buy some yardage, not a lot. So I have some more variety in my flowers. And I'm going to need a little bit more fabric, but I might not buy the prints. I might buy some Riley Blake coordinating confetti fabric. And I have this little swatch book I got from the Fat Quarter Shop, which I love and adore, that will help me pick out the right shade of fabric. So I think I will do that, just mix in some basics to go with the prints. Again, you can see how Shelly and Carrie are doing theirs. I love them. They're different, and they're both beautiful and enjoyable. And this is going to be definitely a multi-year project, because if you make it the size that they are calling for, it's like more than 1,000 little hexes. So that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's going to take some time. But I'm excited about it. I know some of you are thinking about doing it, and I think some of you also said, hey, I am not doing that. That just makes me feel like I'm going to break out in hives, but I will watch and cheer you on. So I appreciate that if you'll just cheer me on and not judge me too hard when things kind of turn out a little. Anyway, oh, and speaking of cheering on and judging and in that line of thought, today I was watching Elizabeth Ann can stitch on Flosstube, and she called her title something like spilling the tea. So she answered, or maybe not answered, but spoke about some very personal questions that she gets asked a lot. Like about, is she going to have kids? What has she done to lose weight? Why do you spend so much? I mean, it was a real eye opener. I can't believe that somebody would ask her that. Like, why do you spend so much on your craft supplies? And she was really honest, and it really just it struck home to me. So if you haven't seen that video, I recommend going to see it, because she talked about, like, you know, if you're looking to save money on your craft supplies, she's not the girl for you. She says, but if you're looking for somebody to enable you and tell you to go buy that item, she's all about it. But she also, you know, talks about like where she's at in life, and, you know, this is her hobby. This is what she does. This is what she enjoys. You know, it is a hobby, but she makes a little bit of money off the videos. And so she uses that for some craft supplies. But I just found it, I don't know, interesting, but also like a little disheartening. And then also, like, I know people are being like super supportive because obviously there's been a physical change in her appearance, and people are questioning it. And she said, you know, it's private. I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want to talk about it now, and I don't want to talk about it if I gain weight back. And I thought, you know, we need to be kinder as women. Like, I mean, it's one thing if you're sending somebody a compliment, or maybe it's coming from a place of concern, but like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll just cut all this out. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying, oh, I guess my summary is it was interesting to watch. You know, it touched my heart to hear her answers and how polite, but she drew the line and had some boundaries there. These are the things I'm not willing to talk about. And these, you know, I'm here for all the crafty stuff. I'm not here to talk about weight loss or saving money or blah, 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 blah. So anyway, Elizabeth, thumbs up. I hear you, girlfriend. So also so I have a couple more things to show you, but talking about that, well, let me show you this. So I worked on this a little bit, not as much as I wanted to. This is the other pattern from Susan Aki's book that I'm going to do. It is a flag quilt. It calls for a larger tumbler template. Me and my templates. I had the right size, but I ordered the wrong size of fabric. In my mind, I was thinking I wanted jelly rolls, but the tumbler does not fit on the jelly rolls. It would have been more like fat quarters. So I got the smaller one. I got this. So there's one. So I need 4 of these that are 15.5 tumblers of the red. Then I'll do the whites, and then I'll have more reds that are longer, more whites that are longer. But I got 3 of the 4 reds done. And when I say reds, I'm using that kind of loosely because obviously there's a ton of pink, but it's going to be so beautiful. Here's my partial 4th one. So stinking beautiful. This is some Brenda Riddle fabric. Here's the rest of the jelly rolls from that one bundle. And talk about buying the wrong thing. I went big, girls. I went big. Two of these. Anyway, I love it, and I'm so happy, and I wish I had spent more time working on it over the long weekend. I did do a ton of crafting and sewing and stitching over the holiday weekend. Steve had to help his dad with a lot of projects, so he wasn't around. So I was at the house. It's like brutal. It's over, you know, today we hit triple digits. With heat index, we were at 108. Yes, folks, I'm in Pennsylvania, not Florida, and it is bad. It's bad. So anyway, I stayed inside all holiday weekend and just crafted my little heart out. So let's go over, I have haul, and then I have something I'd like to share. Oh, speaking of sharing, if I owed you something, it went to the mail, went out today, and I emailed you your tracking number, and I apologize for the delay. I just told my boss today, I was like, hey, I just need to take a little bit longer lunch break. I need to run to the post office. I owe some people some mail, and I can't get there in time after work. So thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your patience with me. And speaking of, this kind of ties into like the cost of stamps is going up. And I can totally appreciate that, you know, like things cost money. And so with that in mind, I created a, if you would like, instead of a buy me a coffee, because I don't drink coffee, and to be honest with you, I just couldn't even figure out the whole buy me a coffee thing, let's be honest. But I figured out the whole super chat thing a few weeks ago, and I never talked about it or anything. But somebody did use it, and it's set as low as $1.99, and they gave me a super thanks for $1.99, and I got to keep 98 cents of it. Set the world on fire. But thank you so much. So if you would like to do that, you know, you don't have to. This is a hobby. I'm not, you know, looking to retire on my 98 cents or whatever it was. But if you like what you see, the most important thing is that you like what you see. And then the next step would be to give me a thumbs up. Then the next step would be to subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell. But if you really wanted to be a sweetheart and a peach, you are certainly welcome to use that. I think it's called a super thanks button on the video. That would help me with the postage, and it also just makes me happy. It was like, oh, somebody likes what I did so much they're willing to part with their hard-earned money. I mean, $2 is $2. I mean, I'm not gonna like be like, oh, it's just $2. No, I'm like, that's super cool. That was so nice. But anyway, so I also got, so speaking of haul, I got these. And I regret my decision of dumping them all. You can't see them. Dumping them all in here. They came really nice from Amazon in little baggies. And what these are these, let me pull one out so you can actually see it. These little bulb pins. And then I got the little 2024 charm so I can stick it on my cross stitch. And, you know, there's enough here for me to supply the whole state of Pennsylvania with 2024 charms. So if you do get a pasta stash from me going forward, you'll probably get a handful of little 2024 charms because I'd hate for them to go to waste. And I think they're super cute and adorable. And I wish I would have left them because they were all organized in here. But I was like, oh, I got this little Pioneer Woman tin. Let me dump them in here. Anyway, so that's my haul. My other haul, like, look at this. I am set on cover button supplies for the rest of my life. The local thrift store, $2.99. Can you believe it? I am so excited. So I got that. From the Fat Quarter Shop, I think last time we spoke, I was waiting for a box, and I was so excited that it came. So I ordered this pattern by Tiny Motorist. I love the Wizard of Oz. Love, love, love. I loved it as a kid, and then as an adult, like this, like just oversharing tonight. I was going through a hard time. I went through a divorce. It was hard. And so, I mean, I'm happy now. And I wish the kids' dad all the happiness in the world. But during that sad part of my life, I watched The Wizard of Oz nonstop. I watched this. I watched The Sound of Music. and I watched Annie Get Your Guns, the musical about Annie Oakley. So those 3 DVDs were just like on repeat. First in my little bitty apartment that I rented, and then I had a rental house, so it was on repeat over there when I moved to my house. And I don't know why those 3 movies just brought me so much comfort and joy, because maybe I don't know, they made me feel safe somehow. So anyway, I look forward to stitching this. And thank you for letting me overshare just a little bit. Then I got this, and I purposely did order 2 patterns. This one here, I have all the floss in. This one, I did not get the floss. So I got this not only because it's a beautiful sampler. My husband and I, quite frankly, were not well educated on what the Juneteenth was all about. I mean, clearly we know our American history as far as, you know, we live in Gettysburg, the Civil War, slavery. Well, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. Apparently the microphone died, and so from here on out we have nothing but silence. So let me cut some of this out and see what I can do to salvage the rest of this, because I do have a pasta stash. So I'm going to give you guys one of these patterns. So the key word for this pattern, if you're interested in, is freedom. If you'd please put freedom in your comments. If you'll just bear with me a little bit longer here, let me show you the other pasta stash, which is 2 of these vintage needle things that you use to load up all your needles and threads, like if you're going to do a bunch of confetti stitching. And so that one, the key word is going to be needle. If you would like one of those sent to you, it's going to be the word needle. The next item I have that I'm going to show you guys, again, I apologize for the loss of audio, is this great 18 count Christmas red Ada. It would look really good for Christmas ornaments or maybe some patriotic. I am going to take it out of the tube and fold it up so it will fit in an envelope, so it's less expensive to ship than in the tube form. I'm telling you now, it's like some really crunchy Ada, but it is nice. It is brand new. So I'm going to keep one and give one. And so the key word for that is hot. So if you use the word hot for that. And I think we have one more item I'm going to share with you guys. And it's going to be a piece of fabric flare. It's brand new in its package. It's 14 count Ada. The name of it is Script. Nothing wrong with it. I love fabric flare so very much. It's one of my most favorite fabrics to stitch on. The key word for this is flare, F-L-A-I-R, for fabric flare, and that'll be a pasta stash. So there's 4 items. Freedom for the cross stitch chart, that's new. Needle for the vintage needle holder magnet thing. Hot for the red for 18 count Ada, which is new but vintage. And then flare for the fabric flare piece. Use those words in your comments and I will pick a winner. I will announce that on my next video, and then I will give you a deadline to contact me. I do have still some things outstanding that people have not contacted me for. I just ask that you please be 18 and older, have a U.S. address, and don't use any of the words like free or giveaway or anything like that. Just use the pasta stash keywords and I will draw. So I think that this might be done. Let me see what we got going on here on the video. Well, if I'm not done, I am done. Let's say that. Again, I apologize. I was trying that microphone. I guess it died, and then at some point, the iPad didn't pick up because the microphone was plugged into it. So thank you so very much for sticking around and bearing with me with my technical difficulties. You guys are truly the best, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. Hey, I forgot to tell you guys that I did sign up for Lindy Stitches midnight summer midnight. Why can't I remember anything? Anyway, I'll put a picture here. It is just like the Jingle Ball, but it's in the summertime, and it's going to be fun. There will not be any shopping, so maybe it's not just like the Jingle Ball, but the same idea. It is Friday, July 19th and Saturday, July 20th. I'm not sure when I will hop on, but I will try to be on. And I'll try not to be so shy. Last time I was kind of shy, and I don't know how to like interact when there's a bunch of people like together on these like Zoomy type calls. So if I don't like talk much, it's just because I'm like feeling like social anxiety and shy. And you know, would it kill me to learn where to look on this tablet? Do I look here? Do I look here? I'm just all over the place. But anyway, I hope I see you guys at that that event. Thank you, Kelly, again, my stitching friend Kelly, who sent me the link. And I look forward to seeing you guys then. So see you soon. Bye. Testing with the mic. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Adjusting the light.